Have you ever looked into the gentle eyes of an older loved one and wondered if they might be nearing the final chapter of their life? It's a tender question we often avoid, yet it's one that quietly weighs on many hearts. Today, we're going to explore some subtle but important signs that an elderly person may be in their final year. Signs that often go unnoticed until it's too late. Please stay with me, because what we're about to share could help you offer comfort, understanding, and love during the most precious moments of their life. But before we reveal the specific signs, I want to share a story, one that might just change how you see the twilight years of life. I once knew a woman named Anna. She was 84, lived in a small home with her daughter, and loved to tell stories from her youth. Despite her age, Anna's spirit was vibrant. She'd laugh at the simplest jokes and insisted on making tea for every visitor. But over the course of 1 year, small, almost imperceptible changes began to appear. She grew tired more easily, her laughter became softer, and the sparkle in her eyes started to dim. Her daughter, preoccupied with work, didn't immediately notice. It wasn't until Anna began skipping her afternoon tea ritual, a cherished routine for decades, that her daughter realized something was truly wrong. "Why don't you want tea anymore, Mom?" she asked. Anna shrugged and said, "I just don't feel like it." That small moment, so easy to overlook, was the first sign that Anna might be approaching her final chapter. Stories like Anna's are more common than we think. Tiny details, a skipped cup of tea, a missed meal, a disinterest in once beloved activities, often carry deep meaning. Our loved ones may not always say they feel unwell or near the end. Instead, their day-to-day habits whisper the truth. In this video, we're going to learn about these whispers, these gentle indicators that a beloved elder might be in their final year. I invite you to watch all the way through, because each chapter builds on the last, helping you form a clearer, more compassionate understanding of what's happening in their lives and how you can help. By the end, we'll also share a simple act of love you can do every day to ease their emotional burden. So let's walk this path together, step by step. Some people ask, why even look for these signs? Isn't it morbid? In reality, recognizing these signals can help us provide the emotional, physical, and spiritual support our elders need. When we see changes early, we can talk to healthcare professionals, adjust living arrangements, or simply spend more meaningful time with them. Most importantly, it allows us to approach them with greater empathy and patience. Imagine the relief an older person might feel if someone truly noticed their unspoken struggles. Maybe they're in pain or feeling isolated. Maybe they're wrestling with fear. By understanding the signs, we can reassure them that they're not alone, that they are seen, heard, and loved. Common fears in older adults. Fear of being a burden. Many elders worry about troubling their family. Recognizing early signs of decline can help them feel supported rather than ashamed. Fear of the unknown. As one approaches the final stages of life, questions about what comes next can loom large. Fear of pain or suffering. Physical pain, discomfort, or difficulty moving can be overwhelming. If you notice the subtle cues that your loved one may be nearing life's final chapter, you can address these fears head-on by reassuring them, seeking professional help for pain management, or simply being there to listen without judgment. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences. Feel free to share in the comments if you've gone through something similar with a parent, grandparent, or elderly friend. Your story might help someone else in our community realize they're not alone. Let's begin with physical signs. These are often the easiest to spot, yet surprisingly easy to dismiss as just part of getting older. But sometimes they point to something more profound. 1. Noticeable: weight loss or muscle wasting. This can happen when the body's metabolism changes or when chronic conditions escalate. Elderly individuals may lose their appetite or feel too fatigued to eat. Watch for clothes fitting looser or a pronounced change in body shape. 2. Chronic fatigue and weakness. Feeling tired after minimal activity could mean the body is struggling. If you notice they're too exhausted to walk short distances or do light household tasks, it might indicate declining organ function. 3. Reduced mobility or balance issues. Shuffling feet, difficulty standing, or a noticeable unsteadiness can point to muscular or neurological decline. Frequent falls or near falls may be a red flag that urgent medical attention is needed. Changes in skin and complexion. Sometimes skin may appear more translucent, pale, or show bruises easily. Poor circulation or organ strain can manifest in subtle ways on the skin. 4. Changes in skin and complexion. Sometimes skin may appear more translucent, pale, or show bruises easily. Poor circulation or organ strain can manifest in subtle ways on the skin. Each of these signs on its own doesn't guarantee someone is in their final year, but when they start piling up or appear suddenly, it's worth paying attention. If your loved one has lost significant weight, feels chronically weak, and struggles to move around, it could be time for a gentle conversation about their health. A visit to a doctor, a tweak in their diet, or just more rest might be needed. And remember, approach them with empathy. I've noticed you're feeling weaker, and I'm worried about you. How can we make things easier or more comfortable for you? Sometimes that simple question can open a door to a much-needed discussion. Emotional and mental signs. Physical changes are more visible, but emotional and mental shifts can speak just as loudly. Our minds and hearts often sense decline before our bodies fully show it. 1. Withdrawal from social activities. Did your grandparent once love attending church or community gatherings, but now they suddenly don't go? Are they avoiding phone calls or visits? A loss of interest in social life can signal depression or a sense of impending loss. 2. Sudden mood swings or apathy. Rapid shifts from calm to irritability might reflect internal turmoil. Apathy, where they just don't seem to care about anything, could be a sign they feel they're nearing life's end and have given up. 3. Confusion or memory gaps. Mild confusion can be normal with aging, but if it escalates quickly, like forgetting close family members' names or important life events, it could indicate serious cognitive decline. Sometimes confusion isn't just dementia. It could be the body's overall decline affecting mental clarity. 4. Talking about getting affairs in order or not being here soon. If an older loved one repeatedly references not having much time left, it may reflect their internal awareness of declining health. This can be heartbreaking to hear, but it also provides an opportunity to ask what they need emotionally and practically. I recall a dear friend's grandfather who stopped attending his weekly chess club, a place he'd loved for over 20 years. When asked why, he simply said, "I'm too tired for games now." It was a small statement, but it signaled a profound shift in his spirit. Within months, his health deteriorated rapidly. Sometimes that quiet withdrawal is our loved one's way of bracing themselves and us for what's coming. Have you noticed a loved one withdrawing or speaking about finishing up life's tasks? If you feel comfortable, share your story in the comments. You never know who might read it and feel less alone. Spiritual or existential signs. In the twilight of life, many people turn inward, pondering spiritual or existential questions. Even if they weren't religious before, they might start talking about faith, the afterlife, or the meaning of their experiences. These changes can be incredibly personal, but they also serve as gentle indicators. 1. Increased interest in spiritual matters, reading religious texts, watching sermons, or praying more often, seeking forgiveness or expressing guilt about past events. 2. Resolving past conflicts or regrets. They might reach out to estranged family or old friends. Apologies or confessions can surface as they try to find peace. 3. Desire to create a legacy, writing memoirs, labeling old photos, or distributing keepsakes. They want to ensure their story and treasures live on beyond them. 4. Conversations about dreams or visions. Some older adults claim to see departed loved ones or have vivid dreams that bring comfort. While not a definitive sign, these spiritual experiences often intensify as life nears its conclusion. A grandmother might suddenly insist on giving away her favorite quilt, the one she'd always said she'd use until the end. Or a grandfather might write letters to grandchildren he's never met, wanting them to know he cared. These small gestures often carry profound meaning, acknowledging that time is short and wanting to leave a legacy of love. If you notice these spiritual or existential shifts, it might be an invitation to have a heartfelt conversation. Ask them about their memories, their hopes, and what matters most to them. You may discover wisdom and stories that enrich your own life. Changes in daily routines. We've touched on appetite changes and social withdrawal, but there are other daily routines that can signal deeper issues. 1. Sleep pattern disruptions. They may sleep more during the day and remain awake at night. Restlessness at night can reflect discomfort or anxiety. 2. Neglecting personal hygiene. Bathing less frequently, wearing the same clothes for days, or forgetting basic grooming. Sometimes it's due to low energy. Other times, it's a sign of waning motivation. 3. Losing interest in hobbies. Activities they once adored, like gardening, knitting, or reading, may no longer hold appeal. This can be due to physical pain, cognitive changes, or a sense of emotional disconnection. 4th, resistance to medical appointments. They might avoid the doctor, skip medications, or refuse therapy. This can indicate fear, denial, or acceptance of an approaching end. Seeing these shifts can be unsettling, but they don't always mean the end is near. Sometimes addressing an underlying issue, like untreated depression or a vitamin deficiency, can reignite their spark. However, if these changes persist or intensify, it's wise to seek medical advice and emotional support. At this point in the video, you might be thinking, I recognize some of these signs in my own family. What do I do? We'll explore practical tips in the coming chapters, so please keep watching. The final chapters will tie all these clues together and show you how to respond with love and care. Emotional care and communication. Emotional care is often overlooked, yet it's vital. Even if your loved one's body is declining, their heart and mind still crave connection. 1. Gentle conversations. Sit down in a quiet space, hold their hand, and ask open-ended questions. How are you feeling these days? Is there anything on your mind you'd like to share? Let them speak without rushing them. Silence can be a comforting space for them to gather thoughts. 2. Affirm their emotions. If they express fear, sadness, or even acceptance, affirm that it's okay to feel this way. Offer words like, I understand how you feel, and I'm here for you. 3. Life review. Encourage them to talk about their happiest memories, regrets, and achievements. This life review process can bring a sense of closure and peace. 4. Simple acts of kindness. A warm blanket, a favorite snack, or a gentle foot massage can speak volumes. Physical touch, like a light shoulder rub, can provide comfort if they're receptive. I remember a man named Robert who refused to see the doctor even though he was losing weight rapidly. His granddaughter, Emily, decided to simply sit with him every evening, listening to old jazz records he loved. Over time, Robert began to open up about his fear of dying in a hospital. That revelation allowed the family to plan for in-home care, honoring his wish to remain in a familiar space. A small act of listening led to a profound change in how Robert spent his final months. Practical preparations. Beyond emotional care, practical preparations can alleviate stress for everyone involved. If you suspect your loved one might be in their final year, here are a few steps to consider. 1. Consult healthcare professionals. Schedule a thorough checkup. Ask about pain management options, nutritional guidance, and mental health support. 2. Legal and financial arrangements. Encourage them to update or create a will if they haven't already. Discuss power of attorney for healthcare decisions. 3. Organize important documents. Keep medical records, insurance information, and personal identification in an accessible place. Make sure trusted family members know where to find them. 4. End-of-life wishes. Some people have strong preferences about resuscitation, funeral plans, or organ donation. Discuss these gently, respecting their beliefs and comfort level. Preparing these details can lift a huge weight off an elderly person's shoulders. It reassures them that when the time comes, their affairs will be handled with dignity and care. It also prevents last-minute panic for family members. If you've ever helped a loved one organize their final wishes, feel free to share what worked best in the comments. Your experience might be invaluable to someone who's just beginning this journey. Daily comfort measures. Even if your loved one is nearing their final year, every day can still hold moments of peace, connection, and even joy. Here are some simple comfort measures you can weave into daily life. 1. Gentle touch and presence. Sometimes just sitting beside them, holding their hand, or softly massaging their shoulders can alleviate anxiety. Human contact reassures them they're not alone. 2. Sensory comforts. Soft blankets, favorite scents, like lavender or a home-cooked meal, and soothing music can create a peaceful environment. Dim lighting or warm natural sunlight can improve mood and relaxation. 3. Respect their pace. If they need to walk slower, don't rush them. If they want to talk or reminisce, be patient and let them speak freely. Encourage small pleasures, a piece of chocolate, a cup of herbal tea, or a short chat about the day's weather. These tiny moments can break up the monotony and spark a smile. I once visited a hospice where volunteers would come in every afternoon to play quiet guitar music. Patients who could barely move would close their eyes and tap a finger or nod their head to the rhythm. It was a simple act, no major cure or breakthrough, but it brought a sense of normalcy and calm to their final days. The power of forgiveness and closure. As the end approaches, unresolved feelings can weigh heavily on both the elderly person and their family. Whether it's a long-standing grudge, an unspoken apology, or regret over past mistakes, addressing these can bring immense relief. 1. Inviting open dialogues. Ask if there's anyone they'd like to reconcile with. Offer to reach out on their behalf if they're uncomfortable doing so themselves. 2. Apologies and forgiveness. Encourage them to forgive themselves and others. Sometimes a heartfelt letter or a phone call is all it takes. 3. Spiritual or emotional counseling. A chaplain, counselor, or trusted friend can guide them through heavy emotional burdens. Group prayer or meditation sessions might offer peace if they're open to it. 4. Celebrating life achievements. Help them list or talk about their proudest moments. Reflect on the legacy they're leaving. Children, grandchildren, community contributions. I recall a story of a man named George who hadn't spoken to his brother in decades. As George's health declined, his daughter managed to contact the estranged brother. They talked for hours on the phone, crying, laughing, and sharing memories. George passed away a month later, but with a serene smile on his face. That's the power of closure. It can transform fear and regret into acceptance and peace. The final months, how to make them count. If your loved one truly is in their final year, the remaining months can still be filled with meaning. It's not just about waiting, it's about creating memories, resolving concerns, and offering a comforting presence. 1. Personalized bucket list. Ask if there's something they've always wanted to do, maybe a short trip to see the ocean or a small party with old friends. Even modest goals can bring a renewed sense of purpose. 2. Documenting their story. Record interviews or videos where they share their life lessons. Compile a scrapbook with photos, letters, and mementos. 3. Family gatherings. A simple meal or gathering can bring joy, laughter, and closure. Encourage grandchildren or relatives who live far away to visit or call regularly. 4th, encouraging expression. Whether through writing, painting, or music, creative outlets can help them process emotions. Even if they're new to art, it can be a therapeutic form of self-expression. Have you ever helped an older loved one fulfill a simple dream in their final months? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. Your experiences might inspire others to create beautiful memories with their elderly relatives. A daily act of love. Remember how I mentioned I'd share a simple act of love you can do every day? It's easier than you might think. It's called the check-in and listen routine. Set aside 10 minutes every day, no matter how busy you are. Give them 10 minutes of undivided attention. Ask one open-ended question. Something like, "How are you feeling today?" Or, "Is there anything on your mind?" Listen without interrupting. Let them share freely. Don't rush to give advice unless they ask for it. Offer reassurance. End with a gentle statement. "I care about you, and I'm here for you." You might be amazed at how this small daily ritual can ease an elder's worries. It tells them, "You matter. Your thoughts, feelings, and memories are important to me." Over time, this routine can transform fear into acceptance, loneliness into comfort, and uncertainty into trust. We've journeyed through the subtle signs that an elderly person may be in their final year. Physical changes like weight loss and fatigue, emotional cues like withdrawal and apathy, spiritual reflections on legacy, and changes in daily routines. We've also discussed how to respond with love by encouraging forgiveness, organizing practical matters, and cherishing every moment. If you've stayed with me this long, I want to thank you. It shows how deeply you care about the elders in your life. You've taken a big step toward recognizing and honoring their experiences in this final stage. That in itself is a beautiful act of love. Remember, these signs are not absolute. Everyone's journey is unique. Some people show many of these signs and still have years left, while others show few signs yet pass unexpectedly. The key is to approach every day with empathy, patience, and open communication. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel for more compassionate, doctor-approved insights on senior well-being. Share your thoughts, questions, or personal stories. Our community can learn so much from one another. Thank you for walking this path with me. Remember, no matter how difficult these conversations or observations may be, you're offering a priceless gift, love and understanding. May the moments you spend with your elderly loved ones be filled with warmth, respect, and genuine care. Take care, stay kind, and never forget, the simplest act of noticing can bring immeasurable comfort to someone nearing life's end. Thank you for watching.